Whenever you're ready.
Step one is to get your sugar
and water mix.
So 1/3 of the amount of sugar.
Just take it into
water.
light.
And you just need to cover a little bit of sugar. I'm using about 750 grams of sugar. That'll make it about 250 mils of water.
Yep. So about a third of an inch above the sugar.
We need tartaric acid or cream of tartar. Just need about half a spoon of that, would be fine. Later on we're going to need glucose, but we won't put it on until it's boiling. So I'll get this going off for 5 minutes or so, and once it's boiling then we can add the glucose. So this is our mould. We've got our mould. Top end is what we're going to be pouring in. That's the neck of the bottle right down the bottom. And we've got a slit running right across there, so we need to gaffer that before we pour the toffee in. It needs to be very tight, so there's no crease in your bottle when you finish, when the toffee's cool. Otherwise it can split.
So now we have our toffee mixture coming to the boil. What's the next step?
A little bit of glucose, so you need to wet your hands with that before you handle it, otherwise it'll stick. And for the amount of sugar that we're using, about half a golf ball size. Keep it moving, keep your hands wet to use that. Oop, splash. That's
and
a
just
glucose syrup, that one. And that's going to make sure the entire texture through the toffee is all the same.
So we have the mould here taped and sealed, so not to get any leakage from when you do the pour.
Once again, making sure when you do it tight there's no crack like that. You need that to be directly in line.
And the silicone should, when it's properly in line, you shouldn't be able to tell the difference between where the cut is and where just the cut isn't, so you shouldn't be able to see it. It should just mould straight back together.
Very important to do the little bit on the bottom as well. So you require a surface to pour the toffee onto. Once you've used it, once you've poured it out to make your mould, the excess toffee, don't pour it down the sink. It will set in the sink and you won't get
be able to do the dishes any longer.
And don't put it in the bin because it'll burn everything in the bin. So spread that oil over the barbecue surface. Something steel will work, and then we can use that. Alright, so the toffee is approaching the temperature. You need it 150 degrees, somewhere around there, between 150 and 160. At that point the colour starts to change. It starts to go a light honey colour, and from there you can add in your colouring. Mixed up some colouring here somewhere. So that's just a green powder mixed in with water, so that'll be our colour, and it's really just a judgment of eye to see what colour it's going to be, what it's going to turn out. Once we've added the colour to the cooked toffee, then we're going to pour it into the mould, which is set,
prepped, waiting.
It's starting to change colour.
Yeah, and starting at a bit of a different consistency.
Now, because there's not much in there, it's a shallow boil, so it'll change really quickly from here. So, add in our colouring, and we've probably got about 20 seconds before it's ready, so that'll give us the time to get that
really get that colour change now.
I'm wearing safety gloves, obviously you don't want to get it on yourself, so
it's sugar, it burns. It's hot.
So it's about the right colour. You could add more colour if you required, if it didn't come out dark enough.
But for our purposes, this is the right consistency. So we have the mould set up here. I'm just doing the pour.
So I didn't mention earlier we're using a copper cauldron here, or a copper pot, and inside this mould there is no oil agent at all.
So the silicon itself, you'll find that not many things stick to the silicon.
So it's perfect. Stick that back in there. Alright, this is the tricky part.
This is where we pour the excess of the sugar back into the pot.
Now you don't need to rotate if you're using a huge amount of toffee, but
If it's
I'm
only
being
small,
resourceful and not using as much toffee.
it allows you to get that consistent covering of sugar across the whole inside of the mould. So you can't really see it there, but yeah, it's just a big black hole. But trust us,
Just going to get rid of a little bit more.
you'll find. How long does it usually take for the sugar to cool?
5 minutes out, and the rest will be cooled here. Down in the neck of the bottle where it fills up, that could take 10-15 minutes. You can put it in the fridge. I've done that once and it turned out bad. I don't know whether that was the mould or that was the fridge.
A bit of moisture in the sugar, and
you're not meant to cool toffee necessarily in the fridge if you can avoid it. So I just leave it on the bench for 20 minutes and see how you go.
Yep. And you'll get an even spread of sugar as it cools because it'll all come to a level.
Now we're going to pour this out outside into the barbecue. Need a scraper. So you just want to pour your toffee out. Help you reduce the cleaning a bit.
It'll help it cool
Now, because
quicker.
it's cold surface under that, it's already setting. Just keep it from, if you are using a barbecue, don't get it on your burners. You won't be the best housemate.
You won't have any burners left.
So we can come back after that, get that soaking, and now we wait.
Yeah.
So now the toffee should be fairly set. I'm just going to remove all the gaffer tape and see how we go. So we've removed all the gaffer now. You want to turn the slit of the silicon
facing up.
and just slowly work your way along and open that without too much pressure on the bottle. The stability should be alright. And once you've opened it to the end, just walk your hands back. Slowly just work the bottle out of the mould. Until it's clear. The handle's nice and safe to hold because that's thick, it's filled up there.
Yep. We had a little bit of a leakage on the side there, which you can see. That you just can
But you can break that off if you want. But there's
wait until
probably
it
not a
cools
huge
down. Don't
point
really.
at the moment. And there's your sugar wine glass.
Ready to smash and roll.
For storage, just get a plastic bag and spray it with an olive oil or vegetable oil or something inside, and then just place that in there. Wrap it in tea towel if you want, but don't let it get too hot, and then you can store that and take it around fairly safely. You still have to be quite cautious of it.
Did you happen to eat all the ham in the fridge?
Trying to do something here, Moz.
I'm stealing some sugar.
And that's the giant green frog.
Really